Aruba Getaway. Today I'm going to share with you some great tips on traveling to Aruba, including activities, where to stay, some food, and some extra tips just to make your trip easier, like going through customs and currency and things like that. So let's jump right in. So first off, where to stay. We stayed at the Marriott Aruba Ocean Club. So we are part of the Marriott timeshare. So those are condo style villas, and it's located in the Palm Beach area. It's right next to the Aruba Marriott and Stellaris Casino, and also the other timeshare location called the Marriott Surf Club. Now, it's right there on the beach, so that's great because you can enjoy the beach, and also they have a pool and some other different activities that they offer at the resort. We found it to be very walkable to go to other resorts to check out other restaurants, and they also had a really great aloe store. So they're known for their aloe vera there, and so I enjoyed some different aloe vera products. Now, wanted to let you know about the palapas. Now, the palapas in Aruba are actually first come, first serve. So if you see one of those that's not used, you can use it. But at the resorts, they tend to fill those up with the resort chairs right away. So they do have a system there at the Marriott to reserve those chairs so you can be under a palapa. I would look into that one at check-in because sometimes they change the procedure on how they do that, and you'll get the most current information on how to reserve that palapa ahead of time. Now, if you see an open palapa at another beach location, let's say you're on like Eagle Beach, then if no one's using it, you can put your chairs underneath there. I'm going to tell you a little bit later about a tip about rental chairs. So stay tuned for that. So again, would recommend that Marriott location. Another thing to note is the Marriott Renaissance Wind Creek. They have two different things there. It's the Renaissance Marina Hotel, which is the adult only side, and the Renaissance Ocean Suites. So keep that in mind. Adults can stay on either side, but it's adult only on the Marina Hotel side. And we enjoyed that location, and that's a way to get to see the flamingos. Now, I'm going to tell you a lot about the flamingos a little bit later when I talk about activities, but wanted to make sure we stayed there so I could see the flamingos. Now, what about getting around in Aruba? You could rent a car. That's what we did. We used Tropic. I would recommend them. How it worked is we just let them know ahead of time when we were arriving. They actually had someone there to pick us up and then bring us to the rental car location. We got the rental car and we were on our way. And then on the way back, going back home, we just drove to their location, dropped off the rental car, and then they drove us to the airport. It was a whole smooth process. Now, driving around Aruba, you're going to notice lots of different roundabouts. If you're not as familiar with roundabouts, you always want to yield to traffic coming to the left, and then you can make it around the roundabout, but they have plenty of those, so just be aware of that. And that's really big there as a way to control the traffic, as the roundabouts in Aruba. We did find it easy to drive around there though. Activities. So many fun activities. Like I said, if you're staying at a resort, you have the pool and the beach, and there's plenty of other beach locations to check out. We wanted to do that, so we made it to Baby Beach. Baby Beach had also a little restaurant I'm going to talk about that had a fun um, swimming pool where you can enjoy the cocktail and see the beach. And we popped over to Baby Beach and enjoyed an afternoon there. Beautiful water. I will add some pictures. Another beach we didn't make it to, but I read that was great, was Eagle Beach. So you might want to look into that. And then we also went to Boca Catalina. Now, this is a great area for snorkeling. And there were some other ladies in the water with me, near me, and they were putting out some fish food. So I had tons of fish like swimming around me. Oh, it was so fun, so fun. And so I would recommend that if you want to go snorkeling. That's a great location. And I also love to find Seaglass. Now Seaglass, what that is, it's glass that made its way to the ocean that's now tumbled and worn from the currents and the waves and all that, and it's going to get more like a frosty appearance to it. You can find lots of different colors like white, green, brown. A little bit harder to find are like blue and red, and some different unique shapes. So I found a company that will take you to this little island called Seaglass Island. I will pop the link below too. And it's just a short little ride over there to that island. And then you're going to find plenty of sea glass. I found predominantly green there. And you can take that home with you. And I would say you're out in the sun, so put on that sunscreen, probably a hat, and either like a swim shirt or a rash guard to protect those arms and shoulders. Uh, but you'll have a fun time doing that. And I would say water shoes. Bring some water shoes too for that activity. One of our favorite things was glass blowing. So we went to Studio Murano arts class, and you want to reserve that ahead of time for the workshop to make your own lovely piece of glass. Now, I had looked at the reviews and got some ideas of different pieces they do. So I wanted to do a fish, and I asked my husband, would he make something for me? So he made me a vase, and it's such a lovely experience. I'm going to add some photos there. And so you're really hands-on, and you're going to have a great souvenir to bring back with you. Now, the fish I picked was a little bit more advanced that they normally do in a workshop. So they did need to help me with some of the steps more than probably normally they would, but I did so enjoy it. And then it was our honeymoon, so they made us a special piece of glass, this heart here, and asked what different colors I would like on that. What happens there is you get to make the glass piece, and then you leave it overnight for it to cool and all that, and pick it up the next day. Now, when you're there, they also have some food options, and you can also shop because they have some pre-done items too. So lovely people there. Totally recommend that. Now, we made it to an area called San Nicolas for the murals. That's an area they're trying to revitalize. So they actually had artists come in and do some lovely murals. I'll add some photos there, a way to get people to the area. And then they also have restaurants there. So I would say check out that area, San Nicolas. Now, my husband likes a casino, so we made it by the Stellaris Casino. That could be an option for you. And the main area of town is called Oranjestad. So that area is a great area to walk around, shops and restaurants, notice the different Dutch architecture, and you can walk by Fort Zoutman for a view, and the Elroy House, which was green, lovely. I'll add a picture there. There's a Renaissance marketplace that has like crabs on the rocks and lots of shopping. And we also went to some different little shops there, and I got a really cute white blouse to bring home. Another thing is Lava Aruba glass. That has a high-end gallery, more on the pricier end of items there. So if you have the funds, I would say they have really high quality things and get something there, or just peruse around to see their different pieces. We wanted to enjoy some live music, so we made it to the Sopranos piano bar. And that was when they had a piano player singing songs, and you were able to request a song to play, and people sing along. And so that could be a fun evening out. Now let's talk about the flamingos. That was probably like my favorite thing we did, and I wanted to make sure I was able to see them. So I'm going to give you 3 different ways that you could see them. First off, a way that I know for sure you'll get to see them is if you stay at the resort, that Marriott Renaissance Wind Creek that I mentioned. And if you stay there as a guest, then you can get over to the little island. They have a little boat. It's about a 10-minute boat ride to take you to the Renaissance Island where the flamingos are. And that's for sure a way to get there. Another option is they do have limited day passes. I will put the link below. But again, if the resort is really full, they may not have that option available or a very limited amount. So that is an option if available. The other one is to book a spa at the Spa Okeanos Spa for a specific spa treatment. So not every spa treatment takes you over to the little island, but certain ones will. So you want to look at their website, and that's another way to get over to the island. Now, once you're there, 2 different tips for you there. What I did is I went first in the evening when we first checked in. I told my husband, let's get over there and I want to see them. I would say when we were in the evening, they weren't as active, but you could still give that a go to kind of see because it wasn't very crowded at that time. But I think the flamingos might have been a little tired. I wanted to make sure to see them when there were more walking around. So we went again at 7 a.m. the next day, right off the bat when it's not going to be crowded. Now, a tip to know is you need some US quarters to get the flamingo food. I didn't know that. And then I asked somebody, like, could I give you like $1? And you give me, I don't even care if a quarter or 2, just something, so I could have a quarter. But this one person was not that friendly. And she said, no. Okay, but another girl saw me and she was like, here, just have some of my food. So that was so sweet of her. And then I shared some flamingo food with her later and so when the little hut thing opened, I could exchange that for some quarters and get my own little flamingo food. Now, they do come up to you. You don't want to chase them or anything. You want them just to come to you and they will walk around you, especially if you have that flamingo food and they're hungry. And it's so fun and just picturesque because they're so beautiful, pink with a blue ocean background. You have lounge chairs for you to use, and there's an option to rent a private cabana too. Some other options I read that were popular, we didn't make it to, were Butterfly Farm, Eagle Beach, and the Gold Ruins. In the Gold Ruins, you could take like an ATV excursion to go over there. Moving on, let's talk about some food. So we love Eduardo's Beach Shack. That had a nice fruit bowl with acai. Acai is good for you, high in antioxidants. And that was just a lovely way to start the day. We were able to just walk there from our resort. They are also known for their Dutch pancakes. So two different options there, Diana's pancakes or Linda's pancakes. We made it to Linda's pancakes. These pancakes are huge and they have different sweet and savory options for toppings. I did the one that had the ham, cheese, and pineapple. Tasty. And I wasn't even able to finish the whole thing. It was so big. Let's talk about lunch. We went to Waves Lunch. That was just walkable right there at the Aruba Marriott and had a nice view. And we also had lunch at something called Lucy's. They have burgers and fish tacos, and they're open for lunch and dinner. Now let's talk about the place we went to at the baby beach with the pool. That was called Rum Reef. Now what's fun about that is you can eat in the restaurant and then you just go right outside, and because you're eating at the restaurant, you can use their pool and go swimming and take some lovely pictures and have a fun cocktail. And I'll pop in some photos. There was these girls that are like lounging, doing these fun like poses. And I was like, how do you do that? Show me girls how you do that. And so they did. We made some new friends and that was fun. Now you can either wear an outfit that you're wearing that has your swimsuit underneath it, or I think I was wearing like a shorts outfit and then just brought my bathing suit to change in at the ladies' room, and then went out and enjoyed the pool for a while. And then from there, we just popped right over and went to the car, got our chairs, and went over to the baby beach. So really fun afternoon. Highly recommend that. Again, that was called Rum Reef. Moving on to dinner, we went to Pure Ocean, and that there is at Pure Ocean Bar at Devi. And I would recommend making a reservation at sunset time. What's fun about this location, it's toes in the sand. So keep in mind when you're thinking about your shoes, I wore just different sandals, easy to take off, and it had a lovely sunset there. They have grilled lobster. If you have a chance to have grilled lobster, I had that once in Mexico before. It's a great way to enjoy lobster, a different way instead of steamed. So highly recommend getting that dish there. My husband had a steak. Gianni's Italian. Their dish where they take the huge round of Parmesan, and then you're going to get some lovely pasta. What they do is they had scooped that out and put your pasta in it and then mix that around, and it gets all melty and creamy. Oh, delicious. Oh, delicious. And that's called Italian spaghetti al formaggio parmigiano. Okay, so yummy. We also went to another location called the Flying Fish Bone Dinner. It's actually like not only feet in the sand options, but they have a water right there. So, okay, I had a really cute little short outfit thing, like a nicer romper one. My legs were able to get in the water, and then the fish comes swim right up next to you. So that's so fun. Now, if you're freaked out by the fish swimming next to you, you could just be on the sand part. But I wanted to experience the whole thing. And so my husband and I, we really thought that was fun. Now, the reservation's at 4 p.m. to do that option. And they have things like fresh fish there and steak. Again, Flying Fish, I'll put the link below. Want to give you just some overall tips of Aruba to make this trip easier for you, like customs, currency, rental gear, things like that. So let's jump in that. Let me tell you about the rental gear. So they have rental gear that they will just drop off right at your hotel. So that's so great. You can get things like your chairs, a cooler, snorkel gear. So we had a company, they met yesterday right at the hotel. It was called Travel Light. So they will drop it right at your hotel for you. And then days later, they came and picked it up from us. So really easy. And that way we were able to go to so many different beaches, and we had those different items with us. We got chairs, we got a cooler, we got snorkel gear. Easy peasy. So groceries, I would say go to Superfood Plaza. Now, one thing when you go there, they have lots of different grocery options available there. We were trying to get the shopping cart and we couldn't get it out. We found out you need a coin. So you go to the service desk, give them some money, and they'll give you a little coin to be able to use that shopping cart. Use that while you're shopping around. I would recommend getting the stroopwafels there. It's a yummy cookie with caramel filling. And they do have these really great reusable bags that we loved ours so much. We brought it home. My husband likes it. So that big reusable bag there, that's fun too to get. And what about the currency? Their currency is called the florin. But guess what? They take a US dollar. So for those of us in the US going over there, easy to bring some cash with you because they'll accept that. And they also take like your MasterCard Visa. And we found everyone there we encountered with did speak English. Now, I'm going to tell you it's very windy there, ladies. So for ladies going, I end up putting my hair cut quite a lot, like in a ponytail or a clip, because I wasn't able to have like cute little curly hairstyle like this because it would be super wind blown. But keep that in mind. So we're going to bring things like probably extra hairspray, or I have a little wand. I could put that link below up to smooth out your hair. But just keep that in mind. It's not going to be as many like cute hair days. Just plan on having hair up if possible. And wanted to give you another tip there. It is near the equator, so they have a high UV index. So keep that in mind that you want to reapply that sunscreen. Think about a sun hat and a rash guard or swim shirt. I have a video on some different sun travel tips, so I will pop that in, and that would give you some little great tips too related to that. And wanted to tell you about departure. So this is a little bit unique. Normally when you're traveling internationally, you go through customs when you arrive back into the US, but here in Aruba, you go through US customs actually in Aruba. So you want to get there about 3 hours ahead of time because you'll go through first Aruba customs and then the US customs and then make it to your plane. Okay, so just prepare ahead of time for that extra time to do that. And going through the Aruba customs, you can't bring home things like seashells or sand. So keep that in mind as well. Hope you got a lot of great tips today on traveling to Aruba. If you've been and have something to share, go ahead and put that in the comments. Let me know. Or if you have a trip upcoming. And again, please consider pressing the like button and subscribing for more great videos. I do a lot of different travel videos as well as tips for women in midlife. Thanks for your time and happy travels to you.